I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record News Watch. It is a firefighter's worst fear, arriving at a fire scene to discover that someone has died. That is what happened this morning in the Cronomer Valley section of the town of Newburgh, where a smoky 3-alarm blaze brought firemen to a residence at number 9 Rockwood Drive. Inside the fire-gutted house was found the body of 20-year-old Robert Dodd Jr. His sister Amanda was able to get out of the house before being overcome by smoke. Several neighbors witnessed what would become a scene of tragedy.
I heard the sirens in the neighborhood, and I looked out the window and I saw that residence on fire, smoke pouring out the back and flames coming out, or smoke coming out the front and flames coming out the back. And it was pretty intense for a while until they got it under control. You know, obviously our condolences to the family. I didn't know them personally, but this is certainly a tragedy.
The victim, Robert Dodd Jr., was pronounced dead at the scene. A town of Newburgh fireman had to be treated for smoke inhalation after trying to get into the house and through the heavy smoke and flames. The cause of the fatal fire has yet to be determined. The latest chapter in the Valley View nursing home saga came Thursday with word that Orange County Executive Ed Diana had sent email letters to the county's town supervisors and village mayors, warning them that a legislative move could be coming that would take sales tax money that the county gives them and putting at least part of that $20 million towards the operation of the county's Valley View nursing home as a way to keep it in county hands and open next year. Republican Wallkill Town Supervisor Dan Depew said he didn't like getting put in the middle of a county issue.
The letter goes on to say that, legislators have entertained this and maybe bringing this to the floor. But after calling all 3 legislators who represent the town of Wallkill, and after speaking to legislators outside of the county, I was a county legislator myself, I have good contacts there. Nobody tells me that this is a credible circumstance, and no one can even tell me who they believe would actually come out and sponsor such legislation. Not even a single person. And you know from the county that you have to have at least 2 to even get something seconded to get on the floor for discussion, and no one can even identify one person. So then I start to look at it and say, what is the motivation here?
Some municipal leaders have labeled Diana's letter a scare tactic and a ploy to get them to support his plan to put the operation of Valley View into private hands. For the new owners of the long-closed Nevele Hotel property in Ellenville, it's the first big step towards their planned transformation of the Nevele property into a 5-star resort, complete with casino gaming. Development officials rolled out the plans for their $400 million Nevele makeover during a scoping session in Wawarsing last night that launched an environmental review for a project that includes building renovations and additions, as well as an assortment of sporting venues. Nevele Investors CEO Michael Trainer says the goal is to get all the necessary environmental reviews and approvals in place so the project can move forward, should voters in the state give the green light to legalize casino gambling.
Couldn't be any more excited. We're moving as quickly as we can to be in a position to be ready to commence temporary gaming operations after the November election in 2013, when we anticipate the voters of the state of New York will authorize non-tribal gaming. We believe that this project is going to be a huge economic boon for the region. It's going to create, our estimate is, up to 1,500 direct jobs and more than that in indirect jobs, and bring the resort industry back into prominence in the Catskill region.
The public has until October 25th to submit any written comments concerning the environmental review. If the Nevele is designated by the state as a site for full-scale gaming, the project is expected to be completed in 3 phases, with operations beginning in early 2014 and final construction completed by the spring of 2019. They took their case to Washington. A group of about 80 residents from the town of Minisink and vicinity brought their opposition to a local Millennium Pipeline Company project to D.C. on Thursday. They want to stop the construction of the $43 million natural gas compressor station being built in Minisink, and the residents want the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission to take another look at a project that got the green light by only a 3-2 vote of commission members. Opponents who say the Jacobs Road site is not suitable are calling on the state's federal representatives to push for a rehearing and that construction work stop while officials come to a decision. A sentencing date of December 18th has been set for a Kingston man who has pleaded guilty to 4 counts of felony rape for having sex with 4 middle school girls. Police say 25-year-old Brian Densmore used Facebook and text messages to make contact with at least 2 of the victims, who are under 15 years old. All 4 of the girls are students at Watson Bailey Middle School in Kingston. Police say none of the rape incidents occurred on school grounds. When he's sentenced, Densmore could get up to 7 years in prison for each of the 4 rape counts. Ulster County District Attorney Holly Carnwright says the case highlights the potential dangers associated with social media technology. State police say he forged and then cashed stolen checks from a Bloomingburg area business. And now 22-year-old Kip Banks Jr. of Montgomery faces felony charges of grand larceny and criminal possession of a forged instrument. Investigators say more than $13,000 was stolen. Banks is being held without bail in Sullivan County Jail pending an upcoming court appearance. It's a ceremony like no other. Thursday evening, the West Point Corps of Cadets took part in the ceremony that each year pays tribute to an outstanding civilian whose accomplishments best exemplify the West Point Academy's motto, Duty, Honor, Country. This year, the prestigious Thayer Award was presented to former Missouri Congressman Isaac Ike Skelton, a former chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, man long considered a national leader on defense issues. The Thayer Award is named for Colonel Sylvanus Thayer, considered the father of the West Point Military Academy. And there's a special visitor now docked at the Newburgh waterfront, and its arrival is a part of the 200th anniversary observance of the War of 1812 and the Star-Spangled Banner. A replica of the privateer Lynx, a War of 1812 privateer vessel, can be boarded Saturday and Sunday on the city waterfront. The topsail schooner serves as a floating piece of history, and those who board her can get to learn more about that time in our nation's history. Tours of the Lynx will be held from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, and sailing trips will be made available each afternoon. After dealing with all the heavy rain today, it looks like we'll be able to enjoy nice fall weather this weekend. Saturday will be partly sunny with temperatures reaching the upper 60s. More sunshine on Sunday with the highs topping out in the low to mid 60s. You'll stay on top of what's happening when you click here at Record Online and get all the news you need and the features you enjoy in the weekend editions of the Times-Herald Record. For Record News Watch, I'm Tracy Baxter.